Welcome back. I'm your host, Leslie Cottle, and you are listening to This Empowered Life podcast, the podcast delivering tools, knowledge, and wisdom to empower the soul. Today's episode is called Why the How Isn't Up to You. If you've ever tried to plan something and it all went straight out the window, listen to this episode to find out why the how isn't up to you and what to do instead. So today's episode is about not figuring out the how. So how do we trust the universe and God and source? And how do we build that relationship with ourselves and with this energy? As a kid, I used to refuse help. As a young adult, I thought I could literally do everything. And even when I worked in corporate America, I was an assistant. So I thrived on building this career of always knowing everything and of always being able to get everything done. Now, in the spiritual world, there comes a time when we have to trust. And let's be real, it's not just the spiritual world, it's the everyday world too. Every day we have to learn how to trust just a little bit more. And a lot of times we are called to do things or called to create things, called to act on things, and it makes absolute no sense, like zero. And I don't know about you, but my brain always goes to, how is this going to work? My logical mind kicks in, and sometimes it's like I see what I'm supposed to do. I see it, but my logical mind is just like, no, I can't figure this out. So I think we should really, abort the mission. And this is usually a really, really pivotal moment in all of our journeys because we either get to choose to trust or we choose to give in to the logical mind. And there's this quote, I forget who said it, but it's about how life never makes sense looking forward, but it always makes sense looking backward. And it's true. Every time I lean into that quote, it's so, so true in every single part of my life. And I'm starting to really feel into giving over the how to the universe. So whether you call it universe, source, God, to me, it's all the same. But we really get to lean into it and just to learn how to trust by letting the universe worry about the how. So I wonder, what would it look like to you if you were to give your worries, give your misfortunes, and give your complete unwavering trust over to God in these moments when you see that you're not really sure how everything's going to work out? When you have those moments where you're like, oh gosh, I have no idea what's coming next, when the unknown is so scary. What do you do, or what would happen when at those times that you acted, even if you were terrified? What would happen if you just trusted in divine timing? What if you trusted in magic to unfold? For me, I'm practicing this right now. I'm practicing trusting in the universe when I make even sometimes my next podcast. Sometimes I don't even know what the next podcast is going to be. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, what happened to corporate Leslie? She used to know everything. And now I don't even know what a deadline is. I don't know what preparation is. What's happening? But then something so beautiful and uplifting always comes through every single time. And instead of pushing myself into my old ways of always having to try to have everything figured out, I begin to embrace the void so I can embrace the magic of the journey of the soul. And right when I do that is usually when this moment of inspiration comes through. And I remember that as long as I'm practicing trusting, that support from the universe will always be there for me to lean on. So I hope that you have a lovely day, and I hope this was a great reminder that we don't have to search so much for the how, but rather learn how to trust more into our intuition and what feels right for us, and allow ourselves to see what unfolds. Tune in Tuesdays for more yummy and soulful episodes. If you love what you're hearing and want to support the podcast, please follow and rate the podcast on Spotify and Apple to help new listeners find us. To find out more about my coaching and healing practice, head over to my website, www.lesliecottle.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.